to the Richard Mille boutique, where I have the absolute pleasure to join Theodore Deal, watch expert and spokesperson for Richard Mille. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's
Perfect.
correct. Thank you. It's a pleasure to talk with you.
So we're here for a very special occasion, the launch of a new collaborative watch with McLaren. It's been 5 years. And this is something really special because it was a timepiece that you've created at the same time as McLaren created their Speedtail, which is behind us.
Yes, that's exactly right. I mean, most of the time when you consider the way watch companies look at collaborations, they're taking an existing watch and simply adding a color or a touch or a certain design element to the watch to make it appeal to a certain crowd. In our case, we were actually working with the team at McLaren as this car was being conceived, even before it hit the drafting table.
Wow.
At that time, they were still in the stage of making clay models. They, car people usually make a clay model not so different from this in size, and work on it, and then they work from there. When they finalize that, enlarge it out to a testing, and then it goes through a more physical stage of real metal and materials being aerodynamically tested. So we were right there, right at the start of the project. And that makes it very unusual also because we shared a lot of information regarding the way we work with carbon fiber, the way they work with carbon fiber, and all these design elements were implemented together in the watch. So the watch is really a product of two companies, which is really quite amazing.
Yeah, that's the first time I've heard that.
Yes,
happen
it's quite
in that
unusual
way.
In the watch world, absolutely.
So can you talk us through a little bit about the design elements of the timepiece? Because this is the most extreme watch you've done, right?
Well, we can go through a couple of different things. So maybe first thing is to look at the car and say we have different scoops in the body that are there for aerodynamic purposes and cooling. So on the side of the car there's two, in the hood we have two, there's scalloping in the front of the car, just below the headlights to keep the LED lights cool. The wheels have also these special covers with McLaren signature on them that prevent the air from circulating. The car from the top, as seen in a bird's eye view, is exactly the shape that you see here. So wide in the back and small in the front. So this is basically the outline of the car as seen from above. When you look at this red, this is actually McLaren papaya orange, as they call it.
Oh, wow.
This is an exact replication of the long, thin line, which is the stoplight of the back of the car. We also have a glass dome on the McLaren, which is their largest piece of glass work in any McLaren car made today. And the crystal that we have also follows the same lines, but it also tapers from thick at 12 o'clock to thin, so it's tapering in all directions. And this is actually a tour de force to make in sapphire because it's not just one level piece of equal thickness, and it's tapering in all directions. So how do you grip it? How do you make such an asymmetrical piece function properly during the process of working? All the vents I discussed with you just now, you see in the various case shapes and areas that have been scooped out. On top of that, it's very hard to see without a total close-up picture. The side of the case also isn't just straight. It actually scallops it from the angle, then it straightens up, then it scallops out again, also following again the wave and feature of the car. There's other details that we have. So for instance, this crown here with the McLaren logo inside is also found in the cockpit of the car. Inside there's two controls above the driver's seat, which has exactly the same buttons as you see here. And the incorporation also in the back of the watch of a variable geometry rotor, which is a special mechanism
look at that.
From Richard Mille. And you see here also the shape of the car, the hood and front of the car is also echoed in the shape of the rotor as it works.
Wow, wonderful.
The red gold 5N weight in the middle is adjustable. So if you have someone with a more sedentary lifestyle, the weight can be moved and placed at a different position that it will wind more efficiently when they're reading a book or sitting around. And if they're very active people, in order to prevent the watch from overwinding regularly, let's say you went to the golf course every other day or jogged a mile or 10 every day, your watch might tend to get overwound. Then you can adjust the weight in a different position to save the mechanism from getting overwound. And everything in the watch, from the buckle to the sides of the case, the pushers, the numerals, everything, the shape, the tourbillon cage, the tourbillon bridge, everything in the watch is inspired from the car and worked down to the smallest detail. So It's quite a tour de force for us. The case has about 69 different parts. Took about 2,800 hours of prototyping, and 5 different models were made before we finally hit on the final one.
Yeah.
The movement contains 672 parts,
Yeah.
and that was about 3,800 hours of research and development to get that the way we wanted it to. And my colleagues in the department of the engineering for the movement and for the case design were constantly working together, much the same way as the car designers do. It was a funny story today, and the people from McLaren, I was speaking to them, and they said, it's very similar when we make the car, because the designer wants to make it like this, and then the guy said, but the motor won't fit in that. It's too small. You have to make it, no, but it's really beautiful. Yeah, but it won't work. And they have a give and take, taking shape.
Yeah.
And it's identical with the watch. They said, it's funny, the volume questions, all these things are very parallel.
Yeah.
There's many, many aspects of watchmaking, and how can I say, car design that overlap each other all the time. Yeah.
What was the biggest challenge in making this watch? The case obviously is extremely complicated. Are there any other particular challenges?
I think both. I think the movement, and it's a new in-house movement design for us, tourbillon movement, which is always a bit more critical than a regular movement. And the design features of the case and all the details, getting all that together. We don't have a single, all our watches are carefully made, but we don't have a single watch, I think, that had so many man-hours put together in coordinating all these aspects together.
Yeah.
This was really a coordination effort to make it really work and get a product that everybody would be happy with.
Yeah. If you had to sum up this watch in one word, what word would that be?
Breathtaking.
Oh, excellent. I agree with you.
2 words, my favorite.
Oh, excellent. Thank you so much, Theodore. It was an absolute pleasure to chat
You're
with
welcome.
you.
It's a pleasure talking with you. Thank you.
Okay, take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.